Welcome to our Dixie Men's Soccer season preview from the CEC TV studios on campus Dixie State University. Devin Dixon, joined by head coach Johnny Broadhead in his 5th year. And of course, we've got three of the players here representing the rest of the team. Idris Alabi, Matt Lockwood, and Nico Shumov. We'll get to the players in just a second, Coach, but let's start with you and give us kind of an overall preview of how the spring season affected the team, what it's been like now with the start of fall camp, looking forward to your first full season in the WAC.
It's exciting. I mean, we left a lot for ourselves to be excited about this year because there were some good moments that the guys found, like this is what it takes to win at this new level. So it left that taste in our mouth for this year. But there were enough moments we want to make up for. Like there's a couple halves we want back really bad. But we also know the other teams know us that much better now. So I think everybody's excited. We only had one game canceled due to COVID, so there's still that one opponent, Utah Valley, we didn't get to play in state rivalry. So that's obviously going to be an exciting game. But now we have our non-conference schedule as well. So a full season, and every single one of those games is against programs that are proven and going to give us everything we saw in the spring. So definitely a more fun, exciting season at the Division I level, more exciting games, and we want every bit of that as we can. The guys work extremely hard, and it's the ultimate pinnacle of college soccer, and these guys are doing everything they can to deserve it, and they're ready to go put it out there.
3 wins, 3-6, and how much of a jump was it? Try to give Trailblazer fans a little bit of insight as to what that was like for you, for the players, making that transition.
It's a big jump. It is. I mean, it's not to be downplayed at all. Not just the level, but the commitment, the new commitments, the new focus these guys had to have, and they did exactly that. All of it was a big jump. Crowds weren't necessarily a big deal because of COVID, so hopefully this year we see a little bit of pressure but excitement of some crowds, which is what everybody's hoping for. But coaches that have been doing this a long time, we saw teams play certain ways that we hadn't seen, and we had to make adjustments. So there was lots of adjustments to make, and it was something that took game by game, a lot of learning. But these guys, I'll tell you, after every game, went to work, and we saw a different team, I think, each week. I've got a couple new assistants, and they watched several games, and they said, what'd you do in this game and this game? I'm like, we learned. What'd you do different this game and this game? I'm like, the guys learned, and we learned, what we needed to do. And so they watched that, and they're like, it looked like a different team each week. So it was a big jump, and we know now that they know us, right, coming back to play us again, it's going to be even more of a big jump, but we also have a bit more confidence going in because we know we're not here anymore. We made that jump, and we're ready to compete with full confidence.
How'd those 3 wins feel?
They felt great. I think the 6 losses will always, for me, I hate losing maybe more than I like winning. But that 3rd win at UTRGV, very, very good team. They were undefeated at the time. I think in one of the rankings they were 14th in the country. So it was a big deal. Nico down here was out with a concussion. A couple kids sick. Couple starters had pulled hamstrings. We went out there with 14 field players.
Wow.
Not a lot of maybe belief as much as we had in the other games. But as the game went on, and the guys produced, our goalkeeper came up with a big penalty kick save, and after that it was like game on, and Matt here got credited with the goal, and they locked it down. And I would say that win, that was probably one of the big highlights. And now to have a chance to go get some more of those, to see the way these guys responded to the excitement of that win, makes everything you do worth it.
Let's bring in the players. We'll circle back to Coach for some more questions, and we'll get his comments on some of the guys representing the rest of the Blazers team. 4 goals, Idris, 4 goals this last year. You've been here as long as Coach has been here. At this point, do you feel like you're kind of an extension of Coach Broadhead out on the floor or out on the field?
I try to do my best, you say 4 goals this past season, I feel like it wasn't enough, really. I see some chances that I had, maybe some calls that were made that I don't necessarily agree with, UNLV. But I'm just looking forward to ball out this season. So, yeah.
Let's bring in Coach. Do you feel like he's an extension of you? Kind of a similar question because you guys have been together. When he got here, you got here.
Yeah, he knows how I operate. And Buddy Idris also, to say he does his best, it's like an understatement. I mean, he's a captain on the team. He tries to look out that the rest of the guys are doing their best, and if they're not, how can he pick them up? And he's been challenged since he's been here. He's had a high workload as a student athlete and everything that he does, and everyone on the team has that. But an extension of me, he knows how I operate, and sometimes he likes it, sometimes he doesn't. But I think he knows, what's coming, and so in that sense, yeah.
Let's bring in Matt. Matt, tell me about that goal, man. That was your only goal of the spring season, right? And it sounds like it was a really big one.
Yeah, it was just kind of lucky, but I was just happy that we were able to get the ball in the net and put UTRGV on their heels. And at the end of the day, I could care less if I was the one that was credited with it, as long as we got the dub and surprised UTRGV. That's what I'm gonna remember. It's not gonna be the goal.
How was it as a player, from your perspective, your teammates' perspective, playing in the spring instead of the fall like normal?
We didn't really like it, to be honest. Fall, we're so used to playing in the fall, and then once season got postponed to spring, we kind of felt like we were just training and lifting hard, and it was hard to stay motivated knowing that we weren't going to be playing in the fall. But we made the most out of it. It was hard only playing conference, and it was just such a different format, going from usually playing 2 games a week to 1 game a week, and just with all the COVID protocol. So, it was a grind and it was difficult, and we're definitely happy to be back to normal. But, it's a season that no one will forget, that's for sure.
Give me one positive. There's got to be a silver lining. What's one positive with the pandemic and everything?
It just, with season being pushed back to spring, it allowed us to take the fall to really welcome the newcomers in and really build our camaraderie as a team, So I felt like it definitely improved our team chemistry heading into the season.
Let's bring in Nico. Nico, 1 goal, 1 assist, 3 points from the spring season. Was it the same for you playing? Do you feel the same as Matt as far as, the shift in season, playing in the spring instead of the fall?
Yeah, definitely. It was interesting because in the fall we're used to playing 2 games every weekend, to just training, having a few inter squads. At times was difficult to, like Matt said, stay motivated, but coaches did a great job. The players held each other accountable. So it was actually really exciting to see the progress that we made, and it gave us a bit more time to prepare for the spring, which wasn't our best season, but for first year Division I, playing against some very talented WAC teams, I think overall a great experience, and we have a lot more to prove.
Talk with Coach Broadhead about that jump. Did you feel it instantly, just the level of play, the speed of the game, even just in the 9 game sample size you had?
Yeah, so my freshman year I was actually at Grand Canyon, a fellow WAC school, so I've gotten a little taste of the level, but yeah, it's very noticeable, the speed of play, how quickly they close down, how fast our decisions need to be, but as the season went on, I think our team got very comfortable, and we had a few spells of possession, a few moments during the game where we could hang and play.
19 games on the schedule, that's nice, right?
Yeah.
10 more than this spring. In the fall, where we like it to be for men's soccer. Is there a matchup you're looking for? Is there a team in the WAC that you've kind of put a bullseye on for the Trailblazers?
Well, like I said earlier, I was at Grand Canyon, and I still have a lot of close friends on that team. A lot of respect for them, but that was a tough game last season, so it'll be exciting. We're going back to Phoenix, so hopefully we can get a result. I also have some family and friends that live out there, so they can come watch me play.
Coach, talk a little bit about Nico and what's he bring to this team?
Similar things. All 3 of these guys, away from soccer, away from their abilities and things. Excellent leadership that I think young guys just automatically admire as soon as they hear them speak, as soon as they see the first chance they have to carry themselves in a difficult situation or a good situation. the leadership, and that's so key because you have younger players and they need to feed off that. But as far as talent-wise, he plays in the middle, and the guys are very confident when he's in the middle, just dictating how we play. You know, when the ball needs to find the middle, where does it go next? And more often than not, he's got the vision and awareness to know, do we go forward, do we go back? And everybody's like, yes, that's what we needed, good. So Nico brings, you know, not only away from soccer the leadership, but also the leadership of kind of directing the ship in the middle so that everybody is comfortable, like, okay, that's what we saw too, like that's where it should go. So very good play in the middle, and then in the middle on the defensive side, there's a lot of communication from him, organizing players, where do we go? When things go well, he compliments players. When things aren't there, he's letting them know. So it's you know, we asked our goalkeeper and center back and center mid to kind of that spine of the team to be the voice, so that, you know, on the coach on the side, there's a loud crowd. Sometimes my voice doesn't carry. Definitely at that Grand Canyon game, they've got a stadium where my voice won't carry, and they've got the Havoc, their supporters group, student section, with the drumming and everything. And you know, I try to communicate to the players on the field. It's just definitely tuned out. So it's important you have players like that in the middle that you know they're going to be an extension of you, as you put it earlier, just getting that information out to everybody, because in a situation like that, you really can't say much from the side.
Idris, you led the team in scoring last year, 9 points. What do you got to do that again? And who in practice and camp has been pushing you that could maybe try to contend for leading the team in the fall?
I guess I just got to keep doing what I was doing. I watched a lot of film during the summer, and I saw there were certain situations where I could be a lot more aggressive, and that's what I'm looking to do this coming semester. And guys pushing me, well, just today in training, Duncan went out there and scored an absolute banger. So there's a bunch of guys on the team that are definitely pushing me to be better. But I'm just gonna go out and, like I said, ball like I did during last semester. So yeah.
Coach, 7 goals in 9 games. First trip through the WAC, except for UVU, like you mentioned. How do you get that scoring up? How much of the fall camp emphasis has been on getting more creative offensively, and how are you adjusting to what you saw in the spring?
Well, we just started on Tuesday, and I don't know if it's definitely a balance, because there's the other end of that where we let in quite a few goals. So, you know, there's one way to look at how do we change things to create more goals, but there's also when your team's down 2 or 3 goals, you're deflated a little bit, maybe not as confident. And when the game, so if you take some of those goals away, the game's tighter. Your team's playing with a lot more energy and confidence that they can. So I might answer that by saying tightening up the ship a little bit defensively, not leaking as many goals needs to be a big focus, because when the game's even, and now that our guys know we can hold on to the ball and we can make those decisions to get it out of pressure and advance up the field and create those chances, a goal that leads from that might be a game winner instead of take us from 2-0 to 2-1 with 10 minutes to go. So maybe cutting out a lot of those goals. But then there's definitely an aspect where the guys that were scoring goals, let them know, there's no reason why you can't score more. And just like Idris said, helping them watch film. And I think that's a great point he brings up on just being more confident in those situations and taking advantage of, I'm in this situation, there's not many guys that can come help this guy. I need to go after him and get my chance. So we worked a lot on shooting last year leading up to our Houston Baptist game. I think it was the game before that. We didn't do so well with our shooting at all. And that was pretty much what we did the entire week, and worked a lot on different ways to finish a ball and what to look for. And that was a rewarding win. We went down a man with a second yellow card to a player, so a little bit deflated. But the game winner in overtime literally was a type of shot that the guys got more confident with throughout the week, and it won us our second game in Division I history, playing down a man. So just reminding the guys that we're not far off. Take advantage, just like Idris said, reminding the guys stay confident in those situations, get after it. But then we need to cut down on some of the goals we give, so the game's tighter and the guys stay confident, and we're not, seeing a loss so early in a game. You know what I mean?
Matt, you heard Coach talk about defense kind of leading the offense there, and that'll help the offense get some more goals per game. I mean, what's it like? Talk about your role and how important your role sounds like it is.
Yeah, I mean, he hit it on the head. We let in way too many goals last year as a team, and when you let in that many goals, it doesn't matter how good of an offense you have. It's going to be hard to win games. Last year was a learning year. We had a lot of young guys, a lot of young faces, kids that haven't played together. So there's a lot of factors and there's a lot of excuses that you can make, but we're not really, if I'm being honest with you, like spring was fun and it's cool and everything, but I'm not really thinking about it. And I know that the team's approaching it the same way. We're just looking forward to fall and, kind of just doing what we know that we can do. And if teams want to judge us based on spring, then be our guest. So,
Nico, how the underclassmen looking? You guys are obviously upperclassmen, leaders of this team. You're here for a reason, but got some guys waiting in the wings that are working pretty hard, pushing you guys a little bit?
Yeah, these past few days have been very intense. I think with the new people we have coming in, the underclassmen, they just want to work. We're kind of, like you said, having a full season, so I think there's a bit more motivation there, knowing we have some tough schedule or some tough teams on our schedule. So every day in practice, someone really surprises me with a move or some energy or a challenge they put in. So I've been very impressed so far.
Coach, you got some up-and-comers to add to that you're really excited about?
Yeah, I mean, we actually didn't bring in too many people this fall because of COVID kind of being a free year. I've kind of, with everyone where they were at with school, it made sense to bring everyone back that could for that extra year. And because I saw that being the case, the roster size stayed large, and we only needed a few pieces. But this year we are very junior and senior heavy, and so this is definitely a year where I think the guys know that, and I think in the years past my first 3 years it was like, man, we're young, and I've done these interviews like we're very young, and this is definitely a year where it's like we're not young. We have a lot of guys that have gotten a lot of minutes on the field. Yes, maybe more so Division II, only having the 9 games, but all those guys were in those 9 games this last spring. So we are very junior and senior heavy. So in the future years, we'll have more recruiting to do. But the new guys this year, very talented. The couple that we have. So not too much new blood that needs to relearn. Only a couple that need to relearn kind of what we're doing. Everybody else is picking up right where we left off. But the two guys, the few guys that we've got, they love this, and they look at these guys. It's everything they've hoped for in their few weeks of preseason. What college soccer can be. They think these guys are carrying us well, and it's got a new fire in them that, man, this is going to be the ride of my life. So that part is cool for the young guys.
Idris, do you feel like you can surprise some people? I mean, not a lot of people really picking you guys at the top of the conference, anything like that. So do you feel like you can kind of play spoiler and really have a good season like Coach just said?
I think we haven't had our meeting yet as a team of what our goals are going to be. But one of them that I want to post for the team is to get us into one of those playoff positions. Even though we can't play in the tournament, I just want to put the rest of the teams on notice that we're here for real. That it's not a joke, that we're not just going to be one of those teams that sits around at the bottom, that we're really here to participate. So,
Coach, get back to work, man. Fall camp continues, and the season will be here before we know it. Is there anything on the schedule to point out to the fans that you're really excited about? Maybe a key home game or two? And I know you got some pretty big road games this year, too.
Yeah, I mean, we start out at home, which is exciting. Scheduling was good. Last fall, COVID canceled that, but we were on the road for non-conference quite a bit. Our first 2 non-conference games are at home. And we like going on the road. The road's fun because we kind of go as a smaller group, and but the playing at home is definitely exciting. So those first few, UC San Diego, new Division I school that was Division II, they moved up same as us. In the Big West didn't have a season. So we're definitely going to try and take advantage of their first Division I opponent. We know how that felt. You know what I mean? So
Yeah.
we're not there anymore. We should take advantage of that. But every game on our schedule is definitely exciting, and we're looking forward to every one. But we know that we want to make the crowd happy and want to come back every game. So our standards are going to be pretty high to make sure they want to come back every day.
Hope to see a lot of our fans out at Greater Zion Stadium to see the team when they're at home. And of course, you can keep up with them, Dixie Athletics website, and check out the schedule and everything. And man, Idris, Matt, Nico, great to have you. Coach, best of luck, and we'll see you guys out on the field.
Thank you. Appreciate it.